Hello, my friends. I get a lot of emails this time of year because it's the holiday season. A lot of people out there are feeling alone, stressed, kind of without purpose, unhappy, joyless, so to speak. I have a few questions here from people who watch our channel, and it's a good time of year for something like this to keep us all kind of focused on what's important in life. So I hope that you have a couple minutes to spend with me here. Zenero wrote in, I smile when I watch your videos. You seem so happy when you are practicing martial arts at your dojo and joking with your students. I feel that I am not really happy much these past 2 years. The news is always bad. What can I do to become more positive? Should I join some sort of group? Another question from Justin. This time of year really sucks. These days are short and I only want to sleep. Is it normal or am I weird? And Corner the Nerd wrote in, after losing my father from cancer, I am feeling that I have no more role models to look up to. I feel mentally and physically beat down and broken. I want to be able to smile again and feel the inner peace that my dad brought to me. I am not feeling good lately. These are all good questions that I've read here, and there are some things that maybe we can go over that my teachers taught me that might help. I'm not a doctor, I'm not a psychologist, psychiatrist, nothing like that. I'm just a martial art teacher and some dummy from Massachusetts, but my teachers did give me some really good advice over the years that I have taken, and then some of it I've ignored and found later when I got much older. A couple things I can say right away is, yes, I am very happy when I'm training in martial arts and teaching and helping people and working on myself and my weaknesses, because that's what gives me my purpose in life. I was fortunate enough to find what I wanted to do at a young age and stick with it and make it my life's work. Most people don't have that luxury, I understand. So it is not bad if you haven't found your purpose yet. You will find it. Should you join some sort of group? I don't know. I don't know all of the details of your situation, but I can tell you that you're not alone. We all feel this way at one point or another, especially this time of year. And joining a group might be a great thing, because if you're by yourself and unhappy, it's really much more difficult. When you join a group of friends with whatever you do, you go out to the movies, or you do gaming or something like that, or you go to church or whatever it might be, some event, dance, some social environment, you tend to forget about your own kind of woes and you focus more on the group and you make new friends, and then it becomes more about the world rather than just wallowing in our own sorrow. So yes, it probably is a good idea to get out of the house, take a shower, dress up, and kind of go out there and find opportunities to do what you need to feel better. This time of year really sucks. The days are short. I only want to sleep. It's not weird that you said that. A lot of people go through kind of the winter blues, but you have to remember, you can't base happiness on the time of the year, because right now on the other side of the earth it's summertime. So don't try to judge how you feel on where the sun is in the sky and how the light is throughout the day, how long the nights are. When I go into this further, we'll talk about why. Yeah, winter is very difficult for people. They do have light kind of depression when the sun is low. There are studies for people in Alaska and way up north and down in the south where the sun is so low in the sky, or you have days and days of darkness. That can really affect your mental attitude. But there are things to counter that, but that's another topic, another day. And Corner the Nerd, I feel so bad about you losing your father to cancer. Cancer sucks. I can't believe with all this technology that we haven't come up with a cure for it yet. I lost my father almost 2 years ago to COPD, so I feel for you, and he was my #1 role model. There are a lot of role models out there that we can learn from, including on the internet and YouTube. There are people that I watch their channels and I love watching them. I learned so much. Yes, we're all going to lose our parents. We're going to lose all kinds of people around us. And the following things I'm going to go through might bring a little bit of peace of mind to you. I'm just not sure. But I'm so sorry you lost your father. And I can understand why you're not feeling good. It took me several months to get over the loss. And I threw myself again back into my purpose, into my work, and that really helped. I got out of the house. I talked to people about it. I saw his face and heard his voice, and he said, continue, keep going. I'm proud of you. Keep doing what you've always done. I raised a good son. Keep going. Make me proud. Now, I literally didn't hear his voice, but that's what I want to imagine that he would have said if I did hear it. And hopefully that'll bring you some peace at some point. These are some tips on happiness. I know it sounds kind of hokey to hear stuff. Oh, well, who are you to tell me how to be happy? Absolutely right. All of the things that I say here, I didn't listen to for quite a while, especially when I was young, because I thought I knew it all, until sadness and bad things started to really happen. Suffering occurred. And then I went back to my notes from years ago and said, look, these teachers were correct. All of the things that they're saying here, I have failed at, and now I'm ready to listen. I'm ready to learn in advance, so to speak. Here are just 8 of them. There's dozens more, and these are in no particular order. You can take these in any order, or maybe work on them for a week or a day or an hour and see the results. But don't expect results without unbelievable amounts of practice and consistency. Here's some things that my teachers told me. Happiness, they said, is a skill that needs to be exercised. Just like we do with our physical body, you have to actually work on your thoughts and be your own psychologist and think about things, why you're saying things over and over again, why you tend to focus on the negative rather than the positive, how our thoughts can be noise and just drive us insane. And what we do is we distract ourselves with external things to get our mind off of ourselves. So they told me happiness must be exercised, as is negativity. They told me you must transform yourself into a joyous being. Now that sounds like a hokey fortune cookie, but they're right. I have to have the responsibility to transform myself. You can't do it for me. Buying things won't do it for me. Being in relationships, trying to acquire stuff and status are not going to do it for me. It has to come from within. I have to transform myself and take the responsibility and do the work to fix myself, so to speak. That is not easy, and I don't say that lightly. It is a lot of hard work. Now, we can read books, watch videos, ask for help, go to therapy. Whatever we need to do to help will help, but ultimately it's up to us. I didn't listen to that for years. No one, they said, can do the mental training for you. You don't go to the gym and just stare at the weights and stuff. You have to actually get on the machine and do it. You have to run on the treadmill. You don't just sit around and watch the personal trainer do stuff and say, okay, I'm worked out now. No, you have to do it with the personal trainer. Stop looking for joy outside of yourself. That's huge. How many of us right now are looking for joy externally? Video games. I mean, there's a million things we can do to look for joy. I need more money. I need more power. I need to be loved by and liked by more people. I need to post stuff on social media to feel better about myself. I need to compare myself with my neighbors and my friends at work. If you looked for joy outside of yourself, you're always going to be disappointed because nothing can last. Everything is temporary. So whatever temporary joy I might have found outside is not going to stay. It's going to go away in a day or two or an hour or two. Therefore, I am the vessel that the joy must spring from. Number 2, teachers always told me, put things in perspective. If you're unhappy, chances are your perspective is out of whack. And by that they said, they always said to this, life is amazing, it is rare. It is very rare. Compared to so many people who didn't wake up last night, you and I woke up. The idea that billions and billions of potential lives did not happen And you and I right now are living. We have this brief moment of time, a few years on this beautiful planet, to express ourselves, to learn, to suffer, to experience love and joy, and to give back to the rest of the world and the next generations. What an opportunity. And that's what my teachers told me about keeping your perspective. The fact that you have life is a gift, and you should cherish that and not squander it. Squander it by bitching and moaning and saying how things should be and how you wish they were. No, turn that over and become positive and have perspective about the world. Compared to so many, I have it so good. My teacher said, if you travel the world, you will see real suffering. That's a great point. Often the people that I hear about that complain the most have not traveled or left their state or their town. Therefore, their perspective is small. But when the more people that I know that have traveled the world really seem with it and together, and by that I mean they have seen other countries, other cultures, how they live, how they suffer. Some have gone and done work in other countries to help other people. They have built water wells and things like that. They've gone on missions for their church. And then they come back and they're just very quiet and humble and subdued. And they're like, my God, do you have any idea how good we have it here in America, in the West, compared to this country I just went to, when there are flies on their food and they don't have fresh water and they're dying of sickness every day and they're freezing at night, they don't have any shelter. And here you and I are bitching about our Instagram posts and our Facebook or whatever it is, and we're complaining about the news and how our television isn't big enough, or we can't train in the martial arts, or whatever it might be. I can't get my DoorDash today. Such first world problems compared to third world real life suffering. That is a proper perspective, and the more that we learn about history and the suffering that went on even 100 years ago, we tend to really appreciate what we do have now. The third thing they said is keep your filters on. Stay away from negative people, negative habits, and negative thoughts. Limit your news or be pulled into the cycle of fear and slavery. And they mean that by the more that I focus on watching the news, on social media, you're always going to get bombarded every day with negativity. Why? Because channels want you to watch for longer so that they can sell you ads, buy products, make more money, engage you more, give more fear to you so that you become more and more afraid, more closed off, more hating of the person next door rather than loving. You guys know that's all BS. We know that when we walk out into our neighborhood and we say hello to our neighbor, that is not the news. All of this bad stuff you hear about sells. Therefore, they're going to put it all throughout the news. They want you to be afraid. If you turn the news off, if you close your tablet, you close your phone down, you shut off, you unplug, and you just walk out into the neighborhood and say hello, go for a walk with your dog, talk to your neighbors, you will find that people are kind in most times, very gentle, very loving, very willing to help when you're down, willing to listen and talk to you. Don't fall into the media frenzy about fear and anger and frustration and all these isms out there. Most of it is not true. It takes very, very few people to make a lot of noise to try to affect a lot of people. If we stay busy and focused, we go to our job, we take care of our family, we do good deeds, we say good things, and we stay off of media as much as possible, everyone I know that does that is, without a doubt, much happier, 100 times happier. And I'm not saying I'm not saying you don't pay attention to the world. That's not what I'm saying at all. It's about paying more attention to what we can change and who is directly around us, rather than someone who's 1,000 miles away bitching about something. My teachers always told me that the most beautiful moments in life are moments when you are expressing your joy, not when you are seeking it. When you are expressing joy, not when you are looking for it. They always told me there is no need to find happiness. It's already there. If you just let go of all the noise that's in our head, it's like a butterfly just sitting there, waiting. It's waiting for us to find it. Think of a child, innocence of a child. They're so happy and joyous. That smile of a newborn baby, pure, unblemished, no fear, no news, no cell phones, just pure joy. And then the world piles stuff on. The more that we watch TV, all the world piles all this stuff on, and you become weighed down and angry and bitter. So joy, we know, is an innate ability in all of us. It's already there. We're born with it, you and I. It's in us. But perhaps it's covered. Perhaps we have to dust it off, clean it off, take a shower and find out how to get rid of it. How do we dust our mind? How do we vacuum our attitude to clean it up a little bit? These things I find helped me a lot. Number 5, again, it's about perspective. My teachers would say, smile, you woke up today. That has a lot of power to it. The fact that we woke up today makes us smile. I'm alive. I'm alive. Thousands didn't wake up today. You and I have to come to terms with our own mortality. It is not morbid. It keeps us aware of the time here, and that time is barely a moment. This is not nihilistic. It's just the opposite. Knowing that you and I will die soon gives us real purpose and enthusiasm and ambition to keep us working and going and serving others and giving to our children and their children. Knowing that our time here is, boom, it's brief. And if you study geological time, go walk through a cemetery. These once vibrant and alive people, all buried, all gone. The most famous of people get a little tiny blurb on the news. We are the same. Our life here is very short. Don't get depressed about that. Be excited. Be excited. I know that I could die tomorrow. So what can I do today to make my life full and happy and joyous? It's all tied together. If you think, well, what's the purpose of life? There's no meaning. I'm just going to make everyone miserable and I'm going to sit around and sulk and forget about work or anything like that. Oh, screw responsibility. Forget about my family. I don't care about my parents. I don't care about my kids. It's up to them. We're all going to die anyway. That type of negative attitude won't get you anything except suffering. But if I can change it and say, look, I have a few years left, I hope. What can I do to change my life and to make my love life better, to make my friendship life better, to make my work life better? What can I do to make my life better? That is an enthusiasm. It's a positive perspective on doing things and getting things done. It makes you wake up in the morning with vim and vigor to go out and accomplish. And then when you sleep at night, you're exhausted because you've done so much work. But you feel great and you're like, if this is my last night, my last day, and I don't wake up, I had a great life. Why? Purpose, time management, awareness, filters that were set. Listening to the positive rather than the negative, giving joy to the world, saying good things, doing a small good deed for someone today randomly and expecting nothing in return. All of these things keep us very, very focused. Number 6, find your purpose and then do one small thing to strengthen that purpose today. That's a main thing. I talk to people all the time. They're always like, I don't know what I want to do with myself. I'm 20 years old and I just haven't figured it out yet. I don't want to go to college and waste my parents' money because I don't know what I want to do. I could go out and get a job, but then I feel like it's a dead end for me. I could go into the trades. I don't want to acquire a lot of debt, but I have to kind of get an education because that's what school told me to do. You can see how this is a cycle. I know people that are 70 and 80 that don't know their purpose. I think your purpose will come to you if you allow yourself to open up and take opportunities as they come, stay open-minded. Purpose will kind of come. It will appear when we take down our fears and our trepidations, and when we leave the house, when you leave your place of where you live and you go out into the world, purpose kind of happens. I find that if you run away from your responsibilities, you lose a sense of purpose. When you run towards the thing that you must do, there is the purpose. The purpose is my family. The purpose is to find happiness. Well, it's already in us, but to clean off the layers of negativity. The purpose is life. Life is the purpose. And I can make my own meaning. You have the power right now to create your own destiny. You can go out there and do whatever you want. The world is your oyster. Go out there and grab a hold of it. Find out what you want to do. Try new things. And then if you can make a living at doing something you love, like I have done, you've won the lottery. But don't let anyone tell you can't do it. Don't let anyone say you cannot find your own purpose, or don't let anyone impose a purpose on you and say you must do this. Talk to a lot of people from different cultures and their parents force them to do something. Ooh, I don't like that at all. I think you must find your own purpose. Your parents might become prouder of you if you follow your own path rather than what they want you to do. Again, that's a video for another time. Number 7, do not compare yourself. How often do you and I watch something online and compare ourselves to what we're seeing? The perfect post on Instagram of that wonderful filtered family, and the fire in the background, and the Mercedes in the driveway, and the white picket fence, and the perfect toast of the perfect wine, and the perfect body that someone posts. When you're like, I don't care to look at how you look on the gym. I'm more worried about myself. I don't want to look at you putting up pictures of yourself. So what do? We compare ourselves to everything we see. Wow, if I just had that in my life, I would be so much happier. That's what we say all the time. If I just had what she has, I would be so much happier. Oh, if I just had his money. If I just had his looks, I'd be so much happier. I'd get all the girls in the world. I'd be so happy. I wouldn't feel so alone. If I just had a sense of purpose. If I just had my own dojo or my own sword, I'd be so much happier. BS! None of that's true. None of that is true. It isn't about that. Life isn't about acquiring stuff. Happiness doesn't come from things that you buy. Yes, of course money can help. Of course money can get you out of debt. And it can relieve suffering in many, many ways. I'm not saying that. I'm thinking higher than that. I'm not talking about the trope that money can't buy you happiness. I'm talking about when we compare ourselves to everyone we watch, we feel bad about ourselves because we feel that we're not good enough. And that's one of the main things we have to learn not to do. Yes, you can get inspired by other people. I compare myself to a role model. I want to be pick anybody. I want to be my father. I want to be like my neighbor. I want to be like Yoda. I want to be like Gandalf or Wonder Woman or whoever it might be. Pick your heroes and heroines and have them. There's nothing wrong with that. I think that's vital and important to look up to others in that way. But when you look at others and compare yourself, you tend to feel crappy about your own life. And then you have to go back to I forget what number it was, 2 or 3, where you have to refocus on your perspective. You know that no one's life is that perfect. Nobody is that perfect on Instagram and Facebook and TikTok and all these places. It's fake. It's fake. They're putting that stuff out there to feel better about themselves. They don't want you to feel bad, but they just want to feel better about themselves. And we're all in this same trap together. And the moment that I watch someone and get envious and jealous and angry and hit dislike and comment, how dare you have such a good life when mine is miserable, I know that I've already fallen into my own trap and that my own thoughts are destructing and destroying my happiness. And that I cannot be joyous with that type of baggage that I have implied on myself just by watching someone through a screen. We know it's patently false that lives are perfect, but that doesn't mean we can't try to have a better life than we had yesterday. We'll leave with this because I'm ranting on, but all of these questions that I was asked are all things that I've thought about 1,000 times and I still struggle with every single day. All of my students that talk to me struggle with the same problems in life, the same sufferings we all have, the same misconceptions about life and how hard it is, but how magical and wonderful it can be if we kind of change our perspective. It really is amazing. Number 8. Now I said none of these are in order of importance, and there are many more than this, but If I had to pick the number one, it would actually be number 8. Our thoughts, what we think, the patterns of words you and I are saying in our brain right now, our thoughts become our words. Eventually, if I think it enough, I will say it and proclaim it to the world. I will yell it out to the universe. And often, that's what my reality becomes. The actions that I will do are based off of the thoughts that I have and the words that I say. Therefore, I have to be very careful, not just filtering what's coming in, but to filter what goes out. If I start to yell things that are negative and mean-spirited and don't help anybody, that's what my life becomes. I will lose my friends. I will alienate myself. I will become more lonely. No one will like or love me because I am a mean, nasty asshole. Excuse my language. So if you yell these things out, or you type them out, because everything now is text-based, which is the worst form of communication, because it can be misinterpreted 100 different ways. So if I text out something and it's mean and nasty, what do you expect? You are creating your own reality. And this we all fall into the trap of. If you write that nasty email, no. Sleep on it and write it the next day when you've calmed down, taken some time and thought about it. If I want to hurt people's feelings, I can do that all day long. And then they'll leave me, or I'll get fired from my job, or I'll get canceled because I was so stupid that I had to say all of my beliefs to try to change your mind instead of shutting my mouth and keeping them to myself. Why people feel the need to have to spew onto others, their beliefs and all this. Hey, you could argue, hey, you're doing it to me right now. You're telling us your beliefs. Absolutely. I agree with that. I'm taking responsibility for that. But I'm hoping that this is positive and not negative. I haven't made fun of you yet. I haven't said anything negative to you. If you took offense at something I said, perhaps that's not my fault. Perhaps it is. My teachers often said, fake it till you make it. Well, that's kind of a cop-out. What does that mean, fake it? I don't like to be fake. No, they meant practice. Practice. It's a misunderstood phrase. Practice being good. Practice saying positive things, even if you really don't feel like it. Get up, get out of the house, and go do something good. That's what they mean by fake it till you make it. None of us has the power to be upbeat and positive every single day. Those people tend to be almost annoying, don't they? But we can fake it till we make it. I can go out there and at least pretend to be happy. And that is powerful because you actually become that. It's a habit. And after about 2 or 3 weeks of doing that, you actually realize, wow, look how much better these people are treating me because of what I'm saying. I shouldn't have been such a jerk for so many years. I could have had 100 more friends. And now I don't feel so lonely because I'm saying nice things and good things and helping people. I have a community around me. I have new friends. I have new opportunities, exciting new things. I have purpose. I get up in the morning. I get dressed. I can go to work now, and people don't hate me at work because I'm saying good things, and I'm doing my job, and I'm running toward my responsibility rather than away from it. Hey, I'm actually getting along with my son and daughter now because I'm saying good things. I'm actually supportive rather than being negative and tearing them down. Hey, I'm getting along with my parents because I actually said thank you for all those years of raising me rather than fighting with them for things that they did 30 years ago. Hey, I'm not typing any mean stuff anymore. I'm not sending out evil texts. I'm not falling into the traps of politics online. I'm unplugging and I'm going out and taking care of my landscape now, and all these good things are happening. Hey, I'm making more money. Why? Because my mind has changed. And then we go back to here. Happiness is a skill. It's a skill set. It's something that needs to be transformed and worked on. And that's what I'm going to do right now. I'm going to turn this off, and I'm going to go do some stuff for my students and my community and my family and my friends and you guys online. And I'm going to help some people out and see what happens, what comes to fruition from that positive action of throwing it out into the world and hoping it becomes a better place. And I feel better and more joyous and happy literally by talking to you right now. because I wasn't focused on anything negative. I wasn't suffering. I wasn't thinking about pain I have in my back or anything. I was talking to you and distracting myself in a positive thing. And you and I feel better now because we had this time together. Now, when this stops, what are we going to do? Are we going to go off into another video of something negative and is all this going to be destroyed? Or can we turn it off and go out into the world or into the next room or upstairs and just say a couple good words, clean, do something good, do a deed for somebody, pick up the phone, send out a good email, get dressed, open the blinds, darkness or light, doesn't matter, and do something good to help other people. I promise you, if we do that in this holiday season, we will feel less lonely, less sad, and we will feel more happy and joyous. Thanks for watching, everybody. I really appreciate your time. Have a great day or night wherever you live.